Second, and next thing you know, I'm going to go, what's up, YouTube? Ed here with TGH, and I'm here with a bunch of amazing people. You guys know who I'm talking about. You guys want to introduce yourselves, let everybody know who we're having a hangout with tonight?
Well, you know, Hill Jack's in the house, representing Hill Jack, hanging with my TGH family.
Rock on.
Talking about all kinds of stuff. Whatever Ed wants to talk about, that's what we're going to discuss.
Rock on.
Thanks for having me on, though.
And BBM here calling. You got a shout out here from Puerto Rico.
Bam. Puerto Rico, right? Did I do it right that time?
You got it right.
Puerto Rico. I love it.
Okay, it's my turn, I think. Gay from Gotta Love Carpet Pythons, and thanks, guys, for inviting me today. Really been looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be amazing.
Irondogg Reptiles here, hanging out with y'all.
That's right, and embarrassing us all with his beautiful hair too. Since Zamora isn't here right now, we're gonna rock on with Irondogg's hair. I'm gonna go ahead and put in one more request for everyone to join. And who do we have next? I see a handsome face there right now.
Hey guys, there's Family Balls here. Joining everybody for the great opportunity of meeting with actually trying to understand the community.
Oh, there goes Zamora. I see Zamora just jumped in. Zamora, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody here?
Hey everyone, I'm Jacob Zamora from Zamora Reptiles. I'm having some glitchy stuff on my phone, so sorry about that. You all see me okay?
Yeah, we can see you right now, brother, just fine. All right, guys, so we're going to make this one really cool, really simple. I basically felt like there was a need for us to go out and talk to everybody in the community. And you know what? There are some very big and controversial topics. But we're going to keep it light tonight. We're going to go ahead and have some fun. I'm going to go ahead and ask Irondogg a question, and then we'll go down the line. So we'll play tag. So if you get asked a question, then you tag the next person, and then they'll ask a question. So we can have a little fun with it there. So Irondogg Reptile. Oh, what did I say? Did I say Hilljack or Irondogg? I said Irondogg first, right?
Irondogg.
Irondogg Reptiles. All right. Irondogg, how'd you get beautiful hair? No, I'm just kidding. Irondogg, my friend, when did you first start keeping reptiles? I know we've asked this question to you before, but when did you start keeping? And then there'll be a follow-up question to that.
When I first really started keeping was around 14, 15. Had an iguana, had them for years. Then,
Rock on. And when you had that first animal, the iguana, what resource did you use to get the information when it came to care?
I had a cousin who was into reptiles. He helped me out. So that was a big help for me because back then you didn't have a lot of resources. So
basically he mentored you a little bit there and gave you the info you needed.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Very simple answer there. So who are you going to tag next, my friend?
I think I'll go with the professor.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, shoot, Irondogg.
Same question, my friend.
Same question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I would say I started out with a garter snake when I was about 14, when I was growing up in New York City. And being a city kid, I didn't really have too much interaction with different reptiles. Every summer, my mother would always send me to my grandparents' house in Puerto Rico, and I would go crazy with basically the iguanas and lizards and snakes. And I guess my passion grew from there, but I didn't actually start a collection until about 2013 is when I actually started with ball pythons.
Amazing, amazing. Who are you going to tag, my friend?
Let's go with Hilljack.
Oh, Hilljack's here. What's up?
Same question, my friend.
The question was what? When did I start?
When did you first start keeping reptiles, and how did you get the information? What was your resource?
I first started keeping any type of snakes probably, I don't know, probably when I was like 15. My first one was a boa constrictor. And back then, shit, I was 15, I'm 37 now. They didn't have internet, so you had to like read books or, you know, ask people that had them before how to do stuff, you know. But there wasn't a whole lot of information out there that, you know, so a lot of people were doing stuff that was wrong. So you had to really, like, talk to people that were into it for a long time.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
My daughter just made me cookies.
I'm jealous. All right, Hilljack, tag somebody else here, and they're going to get the same questions.
Let's go to God of Love. Looks like she got something out to talk about.
The same question.
Yes.
What was the first one?
The first question was, when did you start caring for reptiles, and where did you get the resource of information from?
In actual fact, I had my first snake when I was probably about 36 years old, and I'm 58 now. Even though I only had that carpet python for a couple of years, I only came upon it because it was eating my baby birds, the aviary that I had. And I got it out and took it away and put it far away out back in the bush. And the little fucker found its way all the way back to my aviary a week later. And I thought, well, now you can stay with me. So that started my passion, but I was so busy with kids and other things at that point that it was only really in the last several years that I did. While again, just by accident, somebody left and abandoned a couple of carpet pythons, which is my Jack. And several years down the line, I'm thankful that somebody didn't want him, because now I get to have him in my life.
Rock on.
And resources. I think the only thing I did read a lot of books. Straight up, wow, you like the curtain? Straight up, to just for the heat, the humidity, and what I would need for them. But as for the rest, I very quickly realised it wasn't just about those basic needs. I really got interested in their mentality and what they were capable of and what they can learn. And I realised to feel and have emotions and connect and bond. So that is what I'm about.
Rock on. Okay, so you want to go ahead and tag on to the next person so they can go ahead and get those questions?
David, it's on to you.
I first started having snakes, predators, grassy, red belly racers. By the time I was 3-4 years old, we grew up in the country where I could get finding outside and so my mom let me keep them up until the death found them.
Hey, David, do you happen to have another device going, and are you watching the live? Because I think the audio feedback from whatever device you're watching is drowning out your voice.
No, I'm actually in my room right
now. Okay, I couldn't hear you. I don't know if anyone else was able to hear him.
Yeah, it was all talking.
Hard to understand what you're saying, David. So maybe.
That any better?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Clear.
Yeah, I think it was just the distance. I injured my hand, so I had it sitting down.
Gotcha.
No, that's better, David. Much better.
When I was 3-4 years old, we always lived in the country growing up. So I was out catching red belly racers, grass snakes, garter snakes, pine snakes. And my mom would let me keep them up until my dad would find them in the house, and they had to be released. They say he's still definitely afraid, even though I'm nearly to 70 snakes now. For resources, when it came to native species, my mom was always my best source for information. When it came to carpet pythons, which I started to get into now, along with ball pythons, other exotic species, I had to start out with this because I'm getting older and there was no computers and stuff to look up stuff in school when I was in school.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, it leaves only Zamora and I, so who are you going to tag, my friend?
I want to hear Zamora.
All right. I can't see myself on my phone, so if you guys can hear me, that's good.
We can hear you and we can see you. You look great.
Okay. Awesome. So a long time ago, back with my mom, we had a bunch of box turtles, but really there wasn't take care of them. We didn't really take care of them correctly or anything, but they're a pretty hardy creature, and I wish I did know a lot more back when I did keep them. But as far as now with ball pythons, I've been keeping them for about 5 or so years, and I've basically, I still use research on Facebook, on forums, on YouTube videos, and basically it's a never-ending research for ball pythons on learning things that I can from wherever I can.
Rock on. I've only been doing this for a little over 7 months now. I've had dogs and other animals. And when I got into the reptile thing, my wife had one prior, but she took care of all of the care, upkeep. She had her own vet that she went to. It was all whatever she was doing, you know what I mean? And so what I ended up realizing was I had to find a resource. I had to find people that were knowledgeable. And I started looking. I started genuinely looking around to find, like-minded people that were about the right things. But it was hard for me in the beginning. I was going to Facebook, and I was too scared to even ask a question, because when I first started looking around, the people that were asking were getting just bombarded. Yeah, and it was horrible. I remember the first one. It was like a 16 or 15-year-old girl. She had a very simple question about shed, and we're talking at least 150 grown adults were bashing this young girl. She was putting crying emojis and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, she was definitely being affected by that. And I myself didn't know how to help her at that time. I didn't know of a community out there. And I just said, you know what? I'm not doing Facebook. And I pulled away from it. I started looking into YouTube. And like everybody else, I realized that YouTube was a search engine, the second largest search platform on the planet. And I said to myself, well, people are looking at this YouTube thing. And there's a lot of people giving information, but there's no way to send common sense. There's no way to know for sure that it's like accredited. You know what I mean? Like, there's no official place to go. And I was like, well, how do you trust what you're looking into? So I started trying to find maybe one person or two people that were really, pushing out information. And of course, stumbled upon Brian Barczyk through my friend Tone, pushed me that way. And I started watching his videos almost like too much, right? And I started going back and watching Snake Bites TV. That helped me to get some information. Even now, just like Zamora said, I'm still learning. And I think that's why we're doing this tonight, guys, is so that people have an opportunity to learn and they have an opportunity to, voice their opinions. I'm not even looking at chat. I don't have a chat open. I'm talking with my friends here tonight. And I'm going to ask you guys questions, and, let's just all jump in there and have, free for all tonight. One of the main things that was getting me was enclosures. Okay, so basically Will is saying one person is causing a sound loop. So if there's anybody watching the video and they're watching it on a device next to them, just mute the volume. That's what Will. I'm getting, Will's letting me know, guys. But either way, one of the things that I noticed was enclosures. So we've come a long way, right? It used to be tanks. Can anyone talk on that? Who who here was in the tank craze where it was just tanks? That was the only proper way to care. Anybody here had that?
I think any of us that was at least 15 to 20 years ago, we didn't have a choice at the time. It was just very cheap at a month.
Yeah, I mean, it was common. It was common. That's what everyone was told to do.
Yeah.
And you know what? The evolution of it, there are definitely ways to keep your ball pythons, for example, in a tank, but it then jumps into that next stage of maintaining humidity. I know I have a real simple trick in my house to raise humidity. I have small bowls, medium-sized bowls, and really huge swimming pool-sized bowls that I'll put inside their tub. So if I know it's humidity time, it's as simple as spraying down bedding in the morning, knowing that I'm going to be spraying down bedding towards the evening, not too late because I don't want them on cold bedding. I know I'm weird. And then making sure they have a huge water bowl in there for shed time. What kind of techniques do you guys use?
Here, I'll show you 1 second. Look, check this out.
Cool beans.
This right here is probably one of the best ways I keep humidity. If you see the front of it, you see it all like condensation on there. Then the hot side, there's nothing. But if you look in there, I don't know if you can see it, where the heat is nice and dry, and then over here where it's just damp.
Right.
The snake does that on its own most of the time. If not, I give it a little bit of spray and keep one side damp, other side's a hot spot.
I dig that. That's a real good technique. I'm really enjoying that.
She's pretty healthy.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Professor, what do you do over there?
Believe it or not, I work with ambient temperature. I don't have any heat tapes on any of my my ball python. Right now, it's the coldest that it is. It's starting to get the coldest where I live, which is around 82 at night. And then in daytime, it actually hits up to like 87 to 88. But there is parts of the island that actually goes down to 69. And I have other breeders that they actually need heat tapes, and they have to heat up their rooms. Gotcha. Basically, I do a combination of newspaper and aspen. And as far as humidity, I just leave a large water bowl. And the same thing like Killjack said, is that you're going to see the condensation build up on the side of the tub. So they'll acclimate themselves at some times of the day towards the back where it's kind of cooler, because where I keep my snake room, the other room my son sleeps. And he always has his AC on at night.
Gotcha.
So when I wake up in the morning, I have a temp gun and I check the walls, and they go down to like 82 degrees, and the front end of the tub is always like 86. So that's how basically I run it. I just go with ambient temperature. Yeah, exactly. The temp guns. You definitely have to have one of those.
Yeah, and I wasn't even aware of those. I mean, like, honestly, the first month in, I had no clue. I mean, I knew what a temp gun was, but I didn't know, other than thermostats, that, that was going to be the best way for me to monitor it. And again, on social media, people were letting me know very early on, like, hey, it's in your best interest to get a temp gun. And so, yeah, definitely a major tool. So, Gay, what do you do for humidity over there?
Honestly, I do give my enclosures a slight misting. I feel at times that I have to. Our winters get so dry here, and and I know a lot of people really grumble about misting, but I think the key is to remember to do a light misting. Just get that humidity up and let it completely dry out. Don't keep on misting and misting and misting and misting. Just a couple of times over the day. And I do need to do it. And I've been doing it for several years, and none of my snakes have developed anything that I would say, well, none of them have except Sia, and I don't mist her enclosures, so, but none of them have had any adverse effects to giving a light misting. And I think it's what you've got to do at times. But then again, they can do okay, you know, on a lower humidity for a couple of days, but you can't keep it at that height months. So that's when you've got to do something about it. You know, at the moment, you know, the humidity is about 40% in their enclosures, and I'm not worried about it. But if I see that it doesn't go up within a few days, I'll start lightly misting.
So you're on top of it by making sure you're monitoring the humidity level and giving them a good mist when they need it.
Yeah.
There you go. That's one way to take care of it. And I'm telling you, when you have someone like Gay on top of those enclosures, I'm pretty sure they get the mistings when they need it all the time. Irondogg Reptiles. Brother, how do you handle humidity?
I don't do a thing. Really, I don't. I mean, I keep my room at 80 degrees all the time. I keep big water bowls in my bigger tubs. I keep a hydrometer and thermometer in all my tubs. It runs about 70 to 80% most of the time. Humidity. I only miss when they're in shed.
Yeah,
I miss when they're in shed. I get perfect sheds all the time. I mean, I guess I'm just lucky, you know. I mean, I'm in a good humidity place, you know. So
Irondogg's rocking it with all the luck over there. Can you share some of the luck here and there? You know, can you spread it around a little bit?
I seen some of them big sheds in the background there, Iron.
Look at those big old sheds over there, guys.
That's
got it on a hanger.
Just let them hang, man.
I love that. Theory, how do you handle humidity over there?
Well, here, time of year and head into next month, it's very dry. Right now, I'm around 35 to 40% outside of the tub, and inside of the tub, 50 to 55% in the some days down to 45. But another week or two here, and I'll be running 2 humidifiers that up to 40%.
Do you ever get any of that film buildup? Like I know TNT balls, they had used a humidifier in the room, and they had like a lot of buildup along in the room. Did you ever get that kind of issue?
I personally have not had that all over the room like that, but I normally run an air purifier or two as well. I don't know if that's me from that or if there's just that water.
Maybe it was just a faulty unit or something, because I've never seen that either. So I just wanted to know, because if I ever want to run a humidifier, I want to make sure I don't have mist this like fine powder everywhere, calcium buildup.
Yeah, I've never seen that, but I stay on top of my filters too. And my filters, I go through them to what it says. So.
Okay, so what about Zamora? Does Zamora have some unique humidity tricks over there?
Nothing unique really. Just keeping them in racks, quality racks, and it's pretty dry here in New Mexico. So newspaper or paper towels, they work, but you do get some bad sheds here and there. So just using a good coconut substrate, Pro Coco, Repti chip, whatever like that. But I use small water dishes, but just the substrate keeps it humid enough in a good rack or tubs.
Okay. All right. Now, for me, again, I told you guys, I like to just go ahead and throw in a big water bowl, and that seems to help me. And then misting. So I think I'm doing a combination of what a lot of people here are doing is, making sure to monitor, right? Whether you're doing a digital monitoring or, a lot of times you can just look in there. If it's a dry tub, substrate's completely bone dry, then maybe it's a little time for misting. Just saying. But that's just my opinion. And like Gabe does it, she monitors it. Zamora's in a climate where he has very, very low, humidity levels, and he's kicking butt over there. The luckiest guy on the planet over there, Irondogg with sexy hair and the perfect humidity and stuff. And you know what I mean? And the professor, just on the right part of the island, man. And just so everybody knows, he's up like super early or really late at night right now, right?
No, it's almost 11 o'clock at night, I think.
Yeah, super late at night. So he's like, I'm trying to go to bed, and my reptile community's got me up. And then he'll
As a matter of fact, it was funny because I'm in my room and I left my cell phone because that's what I'm using to do this chat. I left it in the family room, and my son, I mean, like I had him sleep since 9 o'clock, and he bangs on my door. He's like, "Dad, your phone's going off like crazy," and I totally forgot. And that's when I saw the missed calls for the group.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But it's like I said, it was my bad because I really lost track of time. But if it wasn't because of him, I probably would I probably would have found out tomorrow morning.
He would have watched it tomorrow. I'm like, I was supposed to be on that, I think.
Exactly.
So, and then Irondogg's got a really amazing technique. And again, it sounds like a lot of people are using the same type of stuff where you make sure to have one side nice and wet, and they might do it on their own, especially with some of these water bowls. Like, they got to come up with a snake water bowl where the bottom is bowed out. You know what I mean? Like the dog bowls, but like space. I mean, it's like, I don't understand why nobody's doing this yet. Don't let me get a hold of a 3D printer, because if I get a hold of a 3D printer, we're all going to have perfectly designed snake bowls that do not tip over.
I got to tell you, the best ones that don't tip over, Dollar Tree.
Yeah,
and they come in different sizes.
Dog and cat ones, you know what I mean? Like, and they seem to work just fine. They got the arch.
Yeah, this is the smaller one. These are my smaller ones.
I love them, but see, I'm using some of the 16 quart. Yep, you're on top of it. Okay, so we've done, humidity, temperature, and substrate semi, but we can go through the rest. I know that the professor told us what substrate he's using. Jack, what type of substrate are you using right now?
I use 2 different types. I use paper. When I quarantine my snakes, when I get new snakes, they go right on white paper, nothing else. I want to see what that snake has on it. So if I spray it with this, hold on. I got this stuff right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everyone got a big smile because we all know what that is. We're like, yeah, that stuff.
Yeah. I got my Gallon right here.
Holy snap! Did you see that? I didn't know they made it in that size.
I got my Gallon over here.
So, BBM, the substrate, you said already that you use a combination as well, right?
Oh, right. I use paper for my quarantine snakes, or if I want to see what they're doing, And then once they get off quarantine, they go right on Aspen.
Aspen, yeah. That's what I was using for a long time, was Aspen.
Aspen's pretty good. I mean, you can get different textures. I got the real soft, like, fine shavings for Aspen.
I definitely dig the Aspen. It's a very, very efficient substrate. Right now I'm using snake morphology. It's the cocoa husk, and I'm loving that right now. But again, still doing this. It's new to me. I mean, I enjoy it. I think it's really cool. They seem to enjoy it. And there's always costs and this and that. Aspen and the cocoa have kind of been like that for me. I'm not sure. Do I want to go this way? Do I want to go that way? I was using Aspen for the majority of my keeping career. So, BBM, what do you use over there, brother?
I'm sorry?
What are you using again?
Like I said, a combination with newspaper, newsprint, and Aspen. As a matter of fact, let me go to my other room.
Nice.
Hold on 1 second. This is my baby room.
Ooh.
And basically, I stock up on the Aspens.
Nice.
Stock up on Aspens and newsprints, and that's basically what I do for them. It's a combination of both.
Rock on, rock on. And Gay, what are you using over there?
I've used Aspen pretty much from the web, and I've used that fine chip as well. I like the fact that if it gets a little bit of those chips on the actual feeder, it's not going to cause the snake any issues if they swallow some of it down. But I've just switched over for my big guys to paper tags because I was having so much trouble keeping up with the supply of Aspen here from the stores. I have one store that I can actually physically walk into and get anything, and that's minimal. So I find reptiles are quick, easy, efficient, readily available across the road at my shop, and you know, my snakes spend so much time off the ground anyway. But for my little ones, like my spotted python, I do continue to use the aspen because they spend more time down on the ground in their hides, and yeah, so both paper towels and aspen.
Paper towels and aspen. That sounds like a good combination right there. So, Irondogg, what are you using for bedding?
I've tried a bunch of different ones, but I use paper towels. It's the best for me, you know.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to try the CMC paper liners. I think them are going to do good.
Yeah, those tub liners, man, they sound amazing, you know. And for him with the hatchlings, like I mean, I was a little nervous with even, you know, my thought was like, what do you put, you know, a little hatchling baby, you know, sometimes they have like umbilical left a little bit right there, and you're nervous. And I was like,
paper towels.
Yeah, and so then I was like, you're going to have something that's exactly a little bit of moisture, a little bit of comfort there. And so I was like, what would I do other than paper towels? And then Ed has that now, the CMC liners, and I think that'll really be a big help for a lot of people. And even for me right now, I didn't put them in this time. I still need to get my liners. Once I get my liners, I'm going to put them on the bottom of my cocoa husk. And that should help me a lot, too, with, you know, urination and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean, guys? So, Theory, what are you using for bedding?
I told maybe with paper towels just because the bed helps us to in my situation being very dry here in the winter months.
Where are you going?
I'm going over to after the first year and placing a big order with Edmonton to over to the liners just because they
Very cool. Very cool. Zamora Reptiles. How are you keeping that humidity again? I mean, because you got to have some epic bedding over there, right?
No, not really. Just babies, new snakes, they go on paper towels. New hatchlings get it just a paper towel that's really soaked until they have their first shed. But most of my bigger snakes and stuff are on coconut chips. And it doesn't really matter what kind. Even the brands that you get on gardening sites, just the coconut coir, as long as it doesn't have any added pesticides or anything like that, it works fine. And that's true for a lot of things. You don't necessarily have to get reptile brand stuff for your reptiles as long as it works.
Yeah, just get the bedding that's working. Exactly. As long as you do your research on the product.
If I could just say, I saw on a YouTube channel in Indonesia, they actually use cloth towels for beddings.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Cloth. I would have never thought of that. That's actually pretty interesting there. Huh. Very interesting, actually. Let's see who we have in the chat, guys. I know I kept trying to set this up so I can go in there and look to see who we have here in the chat. Phone not working. There we go. We got a bunch of folks hanging in here. Let's give some love to our friends here. All right. So we have Blackballed in the house, ZTK, TNT. Oh, yeah. We got Tavion here, Mother Elfin. It's Mother Elfin Ball Python, guys. Okay, read the name. You got Jay's Balls. Redstrom's in the house. We got FLE in the house. Shelly. Oh, my goodness. We are just packed here tonight. There's a bunch of folks hanging out. We're hanging out tonight. We're talking about some stuff. We got Jay Blue Eyes here. He says he uses Eco Earth. So that's pretty cool. And there's a lot of Balls of Paradise. Oh, my goodness. Balls of Paradise is hanging out. Jennifer Theory gave the thumbs up here. You got to love that. Hi, Jennifer. Hi. I'm a fan of Jennifer's, just so you guys know. You're not subscribed to Jennifer. Go subscribe to Jennifer. Show her some love. Zamora, how are you doing that? How did you do that? It says spread the herps right now. And I mean, you guys are too tech savvy for me, I say. Manic Morphs is here. What's going on, Manic Morphs? Guys, gals, aliens, reptilians alike, you know, we're talking about the care of animals. Now, let's go on your personal opinion on this, guys. My personal opinion, like I told you before we started this, if your animal is healthy That's what matters most. So how do you get to the point to where you know your animal is healthy? So the care is a big play there, right? So making sure to check on them consistently, making sure they're eating, making sure that their atmosphere is suitable for them. I think that's the best thing you can do first and foremost. What do you guys think? Go for it, BBM. I know you want to say it. Professor's ready. He's like,
Is it that noticeable?
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, you know what? Me personally, I go through my snakes 3 times a day. First thing when I wake up in the morning, I check on them, make sure whatever they did in the evening, I clean up whatever mess they did, make sure that everything's not contaminated, dirtied, wet, or anything like that. And then midday, I do a second check on them. And then basically just before I go to sleep, I check on one last time. And that's the important thing. Is basically always on top of whatever they're doing. Because remember, they're either in a tub, especially if you have racks. If you have racks, you can't just forget the one that's on the 14th level or the one that's on the very first. You know, you have to open up each one of them. And the other thing that I noticed, because I had some friends over and I took up my biggest ball python, I just put him around my neck while I was changing his bedding, and the person just freaked out. And it's like, but that doesn't bite you? And I was like, no, because he's used to me always constantly opening up his tub daily, that he's already used to that human contact. And that's the benefit of checking on them daily and as many times as you can.
I agree 100%. So having that relationship with them, and, you know, they start to know you. And some people don't do it as often. But, I mean, there are tons of different ways. Again, I only do it twice a day. And, I mean, maybe I'm fibbing a little bit. Sometimes I'll check, and then I'm not checking. And I'm like, oh, hey. And I'm walking around the house. My wife's like, didn't you already? I'm like, leave me alone. We're hanging out. So what do you do over there, Hill Jack? What's your process?
Man,
how do you keep all those beautiful animals healthy, brother?
I'm obsessed with snakes. And look, as soon as I wake up, I get my coffee, I come straight down, and I'm looking at stuff. I open up stuff. I turn my lights on. I go around and do my normal routine every day. And the way I know my reptiles is repetition. I know when I open this up, I know where the snake's going to be. Roughly, you know, they change, but if it's acting up or it's doing something to get different, then I know something's wrong. I know how my snakes are. It's just, you just have to know your animal. Just like a dog. You know when a dog is not feeling good, or it's just, you know, it's just one of them things you acquire having a lot of snakes or reptiles.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that as well. It falls into that thing. If you really do care about your animals, you're going to care for your animals. Does that kind of make sense? If you care about them, you think about that. Like, I know when I'm driving home or something in the morning, or, you know, I'm like, as soon as I get in, I'm going to check everyone's water real quick. And then I'm going to get on, and I'm going to do all this other stuff. And my wife's like, you come in, you don't even say hi to me. I'm like, you're right here. You see me.
That's good. My wife's like, you spend more time downstairs than I do with her.
Hey, okay, so it's funny because, like, I have the quarantine rack in my room, and I have the crested gecko in here and the tarantula in here. So I'll kind of sneak out of my room and go grab a reptile from the rack that's, you know, the man cave area. And then I come back to the room, and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, nothing. And she's like, you know, you can't go to that room. And I'm like, oh, you're right. You're right. Okay. Because this is where I feel comfortable. I hang out in this space here. You know, the white backdrop is the green screen thing. I have like green, white, and black, right? So I have the space next to my bed. I got my TV over there, which is on the other side of the laptop. And I'm comfortable. It's my comfort space, right? So I enjoy being around them. And I think that, again, adds to the care because I care for them. I'm going to care for them the best I can to make sure that their care is being taken care of properly. You know, dirty water bowls and all that kind of stuff. And that irks me a little bit. You know, when you see someone that has their bedding, like, I'm all about the spot checking, right? But it's like sometimes maybe you shouldn't be seeing fuzzy poop. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't mean you spot checked, my friend. You ever seen that? Okay, once in a blue moon, there's somebody around's got a fuzzy poop, and you're like, wait, how did that happen? Because, you know, it's important to pay attention to what you're doing. And if you're
I'm sorry. It's funny because when you talk about that fuzzy poop thing, I had someone actually call me, and he was worried because he started to see worms inside the tub on top of the excrements. And I asked the person, obviously, if you're seeing worms, it's because you haven't opened up that tub in a few days. And he was like, yeah, that's it's been a few days I haven't opened it. Obviously, that's the flies that's in the area that's going to drop by and visit, and they're going to leave whatever on that. So when you get to that point that you're seeing hair, I mean, like the next thing you're going to start seeing is mushrooms growing on that. Because you're not opening up that tub.
That's right. And again, it just goes back to the care. If you enjoy this hobby, this lifestyle, this thing that we're doing, then you got to put in the time. And then, you're going to get the results you're looking for. And if you're lucky, you might get beautiful hair like Zamora and Hilljack. And then you might have, the epic Irondogg hair in the background like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it comes with all that hard work. It's like, what are you talking about? I have beautiful hair too. What are you guys doing?
It's a guy thing.
It's a guy thing. I was the other day walking around my kids, and I seen this dude with a real epic beard, and I was just like, that's an epic beard, dude. And he was like, thanks, man. My kids are like, whoa, it's one of those things, guys that got beards. Well, yeah, that's a nice beard. Bill Jack went and did the stretch. You see that when we talked about the beards? He was like, yeah, you're right. Beards. But yeah, so I think the care is important. What do you do type of thing to keep a healthy snake? Gay, we know you're always like focused inside there. Do you have any other tricks, or do you even have resources or anything like that, people that you give a call to? I know I still do it, but what do you do to make sure your animals are healthy?
It just, for me, it's always know your snake. If you know your snake, then you will know when something is wrong with them.
If your helmet's not moving, something's wrong.
You're wrong, yeah. I don't know to get that far. I can pretty much judge. Every morning I come out here. In actual fact, I come out twice a night. I'm a shocker. I come out, I check everything, I make sure they're all okay. And I'm out here about 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning. And the first thing I do, I don't turn on the lights because it's too early for them, but I check. And I open the door. I physically open every door and I say hello, and they respond. They lift their head up, they look at me, and I go, yep, you're cool. That's how I know they're all doing very well. Apart from, like you say, keeping their enclosures clean. I think, they're in there, it gets stuffy. It must get so stuffy for them. I like to sit here and open up their doors. Just let a little bit of fresh air flow through for them. I'm a big advocate for getting your snakes outside and in the sunshine. I think that helps them.
I think it helps with mental health for them too, right? I mean, they're, like you said, they have a personality. They're alive. And if you're not able to take outside, or if maybe that's against your belief on bringing your animals out on the grass, you want to, not have the possibility of them being exposed to everything. I understand that, but there's also that thing where getting that one-on-one connection with your snake, even if it's just to move aside, like I'm about to clean your tub. I've been talking to my snakes now. I don't know, maybe I'm losing my mind, but I'm starting to think they understand what I'm talking about. Because I'm like, move aside, dude. I'm grabbing your bowl, and it like moves. I'm like, okay, that didn't just happen. Okay, whatever. But it's something that's really cool because we have that connection. I think that's a real big thing, the mental health of your snake, because they're there with us. They're part of it, I think that's important.
I agree.
So, my friend, Irondogg Reptiles, how do you keep your snakes so healthy?
Interaction with them every day. I check on them 3-4 times a day easily. I mean, if they spill water, I'm changing. I just handle them. All my snakes are handleable. They know they don't bite. You got to know your snake when they're, when they're good. So.
Whoa, is Rob here? Did Rob just jump in? Where have you been, Rob?
Rob is here. Rob has been dealing with some.
Oh man, Rob, we got backup questions. All right. When did you first start keeping reptiles? Go real quick. Quick question.
When I first started keeping reptiles about 8 years ago.
How many years?
About 8 years ago.
Okay, second question is, what was your resource for information back then?
PetSmart.
Okay. And what kind of bedding do you use?
I use Aspen bedding in a 20.
What do you do to maintain humidity?
I sprayed the tank.
Okay, you sprayed a tank. And how do you feel about Zamora's epic hair and then Hilljack having a better beard than me?
I'm on my way to the competition on that beard, and Zamora's hair is just epic.
Yeah, I was my wife was like, "Are you gonna get a haircut?" I was like, "I'm thinking about letting it grow out a little bit." She's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "I know I'm gonna look like a werewolf for a few months. I get that, but it's gonna be good in the long run." And then she's like, "So what about the beard?" I'm like, "I can't let Hilljack beat me." He's already beating me. What can I say? Mine's all bushy. His has all got that little cool length to it. All right. So we're going to go ahead because I was going to ask Zamora a question. Zamora, what do you do to keep your animals so healthy?
Well, I mean, as far as everybody's been saying, you got to check them. But, I mean, just keeping them in a basic enclosure with what they need. Obviously, I'm talking about ball pythons. Different snakes need different care, but you want a snake that's eating. You want one that's not very active. An active snake most likely is not a very healthy snake. A ball python. And you want them to breed and have babies if you're a breeder.
That's true.
And if they're doing all that, they're healthy.
Okay, very agreeable. Does everyone here so far agree to everything that's been being said thus far, guys?
Definitely, especially with that breeding part, because no ball python will go into breeding or even start breeding if they don't feel that the environment is in check.
Definitely. So there you go, Rob. How do you keep your animals so healthy?
I keep my animals healthy because I check them every day. I keep them in the proper enclosures that they need to be kept in. If they need their water changed, I change their water. If they need their bedding changed, I change their bedding. Just basic work.
So you're not riding with them on your Harley, right?
Oh no, I gave that up last year.
You guys are so amazing. I really appreciate all of you guys coming on over tonight, spending time, hanging out. For all of those folks that have been in the chat, I don't even know how many people we have watching. I had turned out to pay attention to that too much more nowadays. I know our friends are here. That's all that matters. There's a bunch of folks here. Let's give them an opportunity to come together like we do. You guys know what I'm going to say. How do we come together? How do we connect in this community? Let's just go ahead and everyone just start saying it. Let's go for it.
Email time.
It's right. It's email time, guys. Let me go ahead and type that.
Email.
Bam. Email time, guys. Email time is a way for people to come together. If you have done it before, do it again. You might get a chance to hang out with someone like-minded. You might have the answer to a question someone has. You might be so cool that you grow long hair. You might be lucky enough to get a phone call with BBM. You might get an opportunity to talk to Hilljack while he's going through the mud in a monster truck. You might get an opportunity to hang out with Gay outside while her snakes are slithering in the grass. You might get an opportunity to reach out and discuss amazing topics with my boy Irondogg. You might even get a hit up by an email or an Instagram from my boy Theory saying, "How's it going? Just wanted to check on you because you are my friend." You might even get a chance to hang out with Zamora and ask him about epic pens and talk about unique light bulbs to pop inside pens and stuff and have, conversations that have nothing to do with reptiles because we're a family, guys. You might even have a good friend, all the way from Kentucky hit you up and say, "Hey, that snake you was talking about? I need it. Send it over." And these things happen all the time. As a community, we come together and we help each other. Helping each other a lot of the times means being there for one another. just being open to answering a question, just being willing to say hi, being willing to stay up super late and wake up your young boy because he was hanging out in the front room, you know, that end, you know, he's always bugging and stuff, and he does it all the time. He does it in the morning, he wants to bug you at night. I don't know what I'd do without you guys, but we do this for a reason. I think that the community has come together because there was a need for this positive vibe. There was a need for community, and also having these resources. When I came in, the resources weren't there for me. I didn't feel that people were going to be open and helpful to me. And I was scared and discouraged. If it wasn't for like Will reaching out to me, there was a lot of you. Even, dude, that's how I met Hilljack. Hilljack hit me up with like, just being friendly, passing on some advice. I noticed something. I may not be 100% sure, but I noticed something on a bag. Just saying you might want to look into that. And I said, why? And he gave me this nice list of, this is why. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, I get you. But he did it. And it blew me away that he was willing to just read. This is a guy out there in Pennsylvania. And he hits me up and he's like, what's up, Cali boy? I got a question for you. You know what you're doing or not? I'm like, not really, sir. Can you give me a hand? And he's like, I got you, man. And it's so amazing. It was just like, I literally felt like I was texting or emailing a brother. Like, I'm in this bind right now. I don't know what to do, bud. And he's like, I got you. Just do this and this, and you're good. I was like, oh, okay. That works. So this community thing that we do, it's bigger than just a few people hanging out. What we're able to do is reach other people, let them realize there's a resource of people out there that are willing to help them. We're also constantly putting out information. I'm just being silly, having fun with folks, but I like to think I point everybody in the right direction. I mean, I'm grateful to have people like Old Troy City Reptiles and BBM, where there's some people that I can ask and get definitive answers. I'm very happy and grateful that there's people like Will out there that'll put in that research and spend hours upon hours of time to get that out there. You know, I'm also grateful that there's so many people like Irondogg. I mean, there's not very many people like Irondogg. Let me rewind that a bit. That we have Irondogg, because seriously, if you want to have someone that's connected and that actually cares about the time that they're putting into it, Irondogg is this guy, and he will be there for you. He will talk with you. And again, just like the rest of us, he'll point you in the right direction if he doesn't have those answers. You know, my friend Rob, what an amazing dude. Before I really knew who Rob was, I knew what he was about, because he just wanted to be kind and friendly to others. He made it very clear that he was completely against the same things I was against. This bashing needs to stop. There should be no place for bashing in a community of caring people. There should be voices that are loud enough to speak for all of us and tell people, like, we're not going to stand for that. It's unacceptable. Go elsewhere. Don't hang around these nice people. That kind of stuff is very helpful. What are you doing, Rob? I'm trying to talk here, and I see Rob working on stuff. I mean, I'm more interested in what Rob is doing than what I'm doing.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to clean my geckos here.
How do you feel about this?
I am listening to you.
Oh, no, I know you are. I'm just making fun. Irondogg, how do you feel about this? Because you know what? Me and you talk. You are the type of person that is like, just like others in the community. Heather's one as well. We put our foot down on our beliefs. We're very proud of what we do, but you're not going to sway us in regards to how we feel about our lifestyle. What do you think about all this stuff that's going on in the communities and what we're doing here?
Oh yeah.
I don't get on Facebook groups. I don't get in them chats because they bash all the time. You know, I might message somebody through a private message and say, hey, you know, you need to talk. I'll talk with you. You know, but them people, they were novice when they started too. They didn't know nothing. You know, and you know what? They think they know more than everybody, and they don't. I mean, they're just there to bash. And I've seen groups say, hey, if you get your feelings hurt, don't join us. Well, they're not there to help nobody, you know what I mean? So this is a good community. This is what we do. people know that. We got some young members in here. They appreciate it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that 100%. The people that are in those communities are I wouldn't even call it a community, in those groups. In those groups, those people that they get some joy from being mean. They get some joy from, just, I think it's a destructive attitude. They're getting joy from doing that kind of stuff. I don't stand for it. I don't think it's appropriate. I don't like it. I don't like the type of people that vibe with that. But at the same time, I feel like the people that we vibe with here in our communities, and I mean on all of our channels, I'm talking about the people in the chat. I'm talking about the people that are willing to help one another. We call ourselves a community, but I think like we have really come together in a way that this is a family. We're a reptile family. We're an animal-loving family. I mean, like, animal-loving, it's like, let's not even put a stereotype on it. These are a bunch of good people. These are the type of people you could have a barbecue with. These are the type of people that you would invite into your home and, sit down and watch a movie with. I'm telling you, if I could get plane tickets for all of you to come down to California, we'd be hanging out, going to the beach, doing the bonfire thing, the whole shebang. That big old dog.
Say hi. His name's Slurry.
See what I'm saying, guys? It's real love. Everybody's face right now on this council right now smiled when we seen the dog, because we all have that kind of humanity where we care for one another and we care for each other. And again, I really want to emphasize the fact that I appreciate you guys here. I appreciate the people in the chat. I appreciate the people that share this after. There's a lot of people that watch this after the fact, and that blows me away too, that we have that type of community where there's people that may not be able to hang out right there in the second. And there's people that, probably wouldn't be up at midnight like our boy over there at PBM and, super early in the mornings and game. Hey, what time is it over there? It's like, like maybe 1 o'clock, noonish or something?
Yeah, it's 1:30.
See, it's 1:30 in the day over there for over us. Well, it's like, it's getting late. What time is it down there in your setup, my boy, Phil Jab?
It's 10:30.
10:30. See, it's 11 over there with Theory. Oh, my goodness. So we're having fun, but we're doing more than just chatting. Let's be the example. Let's set an example. Let us be the people that say there is no standard, but at least we should use common sense. It's not okay to be mean and malicious to others. Help someone if you can. Let's go back to grade school rules. If you don't have something nice to say, keep it to yourself. Or at least bare minimum, reach out to somebody in private, ask them for their information, find them on IG, or just ask for their email or offer your email to them and say you'd like to talk to them about something. Because that's the way to do it, guys. Being polite will get you a long way. Thanks to my boy, like I said, Bill Jack was like one of the nicest dudes, and thank you so much for doing that. So, again, you guys are amazing. Zamora just tagged back in. What's up, Zamora? Where have you been, my friend?
Sorry, my phone.
I'm messing with you guys. All right, let's go ahead and say goodnight, everybody. Let them know where they can find you on social media. Let's go the opposite way this time. Zamora Reptiles, how can we find you on social media? And say goodnight to our friends.
You can find me on my YouTube, Zamora Reptiles, on Instagram, Zamora Reptiles, Facebook, Zamora Reptiles, and even my personal Facebook, Jacob Zamora, and email, zamorareptiles@gmail.com, and hashtag spread the herps. You could also search that and find any of my stuff or any of the people that use that in this.
Yeah, you could get cool swag like this, or you might have herps. Now I'm stuck with herps for the rest of my life. Thanks, Zamora, for giving me herps, man.
Oh, man.
You're welcome.
Harry, how can we find you on social media, my friend?
YouTube.
YouTube.
I'm active on Instagram as well under Theory Family Balls.
Theory Family Balls on Instagram and YouTube, guys. KY Konstrictors and Exotics. Where can we find you on social media, my friend?
KY Konstrictors and Exotics on YouTube, on Instagram, and my Facebook is Rob Sowers. You can email me at robertsowers3@gmail.com.
There it is. What an amazing dude. Go take a look at these guys. Irondogg Reptiles, building America all day and hangs out building a reptile community at night. How can we find you on social media?
Irondogg Reptiles on YouTube. Irondogg13 on Instagram. Same with Facebook. And Irondogg13@gmail.com.
Bam! Love that. Can I get some of that Irondogg love in here, brother? I need that. Bam! Oh, that was epic. The lovely, amazing, the flower of our community. Gay, how can we find you on social media?
Well, guys, I do have Instagram and I do have a Twitter. I'm very rarely ever on it because YouTube takes up so much of my time on a daily basis that I struggle to get there. But I am on Facebook, and my name, I have a carpet pythons page, not a specific private page. But if you want to join me on my private page, it's just under the name Gay Feather. So feel free to say hello to me here as well.
Amazing. If you don't mind, put a link of that in the TGH Reptile family chat so that everyone can go ahead and take a look at that.
Okay.
Professor BBM Reptiles, recently deemed the professor of TGH. We're talking to BBM in Puerto Rico. See, I had to practice, so I'm going to use it as much as I can, okay, Puerto Rico? How can we find you on social media, my friend?
Okay, YouTube, it's BBM Reptiles. On Facebook, it's Breaking Balls Morse. And I also go by Ron Heisenberg. Those are the three ways. Instagram, I just set it up, so I really don't know, believe it or not, how to even access it. My son, he's my my internet manager. So basically, he's the one that sets me up with everything.
Okay, so if you guys want to get in contact with BBM, make sure to get in contact with his media manager, and he'll get you in contact with BBM. You know, the professor's a busy man. Hilljack life. Unless we're parachuting into Pennsylvania in the middle of a mud rally, how can we find you on social media?
Of course, everybody here knows I got a YouTube. You can find me under Hilljack Life. It's kind of a diverse channel, as Ed says. I've, got off-road vehicles, skinning deer, reptiles, mainly reptiles.
And now he's going to be doing some jerky, right? So we're going to see how to make jerky soon too.
I might make a video just for you, Ed, just to do that.
That'd be amazing. Theory, you have a cute face over there. What is this cute face in the screen, Theory? I love this so much. I love all of you guys. You know, I'm passionate about us doing the hard work. I'm passionate about us really being legitimately truthful about what we're doing, what our passion is. But the fact of the matter is I have such an amazing family. I'm out here in Murrieta, California. You know, I grew up a real hard life. Was on the streets on the way up. My mama was not a good person. You know, like life was tough. I grew up in foster care and all that good things. And I found that you have to surround yourself around the right type of people so you can have the right mindset. If you don't, you go down the wrong paths. You folks have made sure to keep me on the right mindset, on the right path. I genuinely spread this positivity all day in my life. You know, my kids are talking about it with their friends at school. And, you know, my son has dealt with bullying. He literally stopped a bully in his tracks just to tell him that he's not about it. He's about positivity. He doesn't have time for that. When everyone in the surroundings seen that, they clapped, which embarrassed that bully so much, all he could do was turn around and walk away. I think that's what our community is doing. I think that's what we're doing for this reptile lifestyle. You guys continue to keep putting in the work. I say this a lot because I think it means a lot. the person you were yesterday, that person is gone. And the person you are today is working on the very best version of yourself for tomorrow. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Much love to you. Thank you for being these people that put in the work and spread that love throughout our community. I'll see you guys on the next one.